All right, welcome back. Let's just continue with the discussion with ANFASA. As I said, we're joined by the National Administrator of ANFASA, Samu Mfuphi, who was basically telling us about the main objective behind the establishment of this organization.
Yes, it's aimed at empowering authors, and we do this through a number of workshops that we host. But the overall objective of establishing ANFASA was to lobby for authors' rights and fair remuneration, as well as to enhance the status and profile of authors in general. We run a number of workshops, we run a number of seminars, it's all dedicated in informing and empowering authors. We do a whole lot of biography writing workshops, self-publishing workshops, as well as just, open access and many other workshops that are towards the advancement of authors in the country.
All right, so you don't have a target of a specific genre, as long as it's just non-fiction?
Yes, non-fiction, it could be biography writing, just general non-fiction topics that are there. Even though we are called Academic and Non-Fiction Authors Association, we do work with authors who are fiction writers, because you find that an author would in their lifetime be writing both fiction and non-fiction. So we do go across both fiction and non-fiction.
Now, you've mentioned one important aspect of the main objectives behind the establishment of this organization, which is, of course, to protect the rights of writers. How do you go about doing that?
We do a lot of lobbying in terms of policy. There's a current copyright bill, amendment bill that is on now. We made a lot of submissions in making sure that authors' rights are taken into considerations when these policies are put in place. So we also make sure that, if, for instance, an author is having problems with their publisher, we intervene, especially if we are a member. So we intervene and try and come up with a solution that is both suitable for the publisher as well as the author. So in everything that we do, we make sure that authors' rights are taken into consideration.
Have you had cases previously where you had to intervene?
We've had cases of plagiarism where one of our members' whole thesis was copied word for word. And when he finally realized it, he got in touch with the institution. He tried his best up to a point where he came to us and asked us to intervene. And the minute we started communicating with the institution, they started, communicating and coming back. Where else before, when he tried to do it all by himself, he couldn't get anywhere.
And it's quite amazing, because institutions and supervisors are supposed to pick that up.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he was, with the time when he picked it up, he was doing research on the topic. And when he realized, but this is my research, word for word. So it was a copy and paste type of...
All right, let's go back to the competition. Who are you targeting with this competition? Who's eligible to enter?
Anyone who's currently in a process of writing a book, non-fiction, or doing a research towards writing their manuscript is eligible to apply.
Right.
So if you have an idea but you're lacking resources, non-fiction it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of resources, because you have to do research, you have to travel, you have to make sure that your facts are correct. So that process is strenuous for an author, and it requires a lot of money. So all we are saying is, you have an opportunity. Here, the resources are on offer. You can take time off work and finalize your manuscript, or you can go around, travel, do your research towards writing your manuscript.
And I believe that's where the 20,000 comes into picture here. But I was reading on your website, you've got to be a member of ANFASA before you can actually enter the competition.
Well, you can enter if you're not a member. We will go through the whole process of adjudication. However, for you to receive the grant, you have to be a member.
All right, so we're looking at 20,000 to 25,000 rand.
Yes, every year we distribute between 20 to 25,000 to 12 deserving grants. We receive over 100 of applications, and I mean, I really commend the selection committee, because you have to balance. For instance, you would receive an application from a professor in an institution who has years of experience in research. And you will also receive an application from a young lady in the Eastern Cape who's just writing about her experiences as a young woman growing in a rural area. So, you have to look at all of those things. And they are both non-fiction. So you have to find balance in all the applications. And I mean, it's sometimes very sensitive issues that you have to look at a person who's ready and willing to tell their own stories. We look at politics, we look at just general social issues.
Different topics.
Stories about towns, cooking, theater. So those are all the topics that we look at.
All right, we'll leave it at that. So applications are only online.
Applications are online. If anyone cannot access them, they can give us a call. We'll find a way to get the application form to them.
All right, Samu, thank you so much. We'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much indeed. So if you're interested in publishing your own book, you can apply for the ANFASA grant scheme. Applications close on the 30th of this month. So go to your website for more on that competition. Let's take a break here on Morning Live. One more item and then we say goodbye.
Next on Fundis. Fundis, Friday at 7 p.m. on SABC2.
Wena ubewakini
uhamba nami Tebo.
akinadaba kuko
Lazi business sazoletha la ethatha. Are you sure you want to be a part of that?
This week on Mobango.
What can I do right?
ro tangana na bogizara namusi bafuwi bo butsa bogizara uri bakuti imiselo uri bari fethendele yakho
Kodwa in one condition. Dingabe ukuthi uyoxolisa.
Ngani ngantshela ukuthi nemncwabeni igqoke kanje. What's going on here Kalum James? Xolisa ukubaletha.
It's all right, boy. So, go and feel alone.
Mobango, weekdays at 9, SABC2.
Welcome to the wonderful land of Wipeout, a fun-filled game where the objective is simple.